Magic 87.6. Let's talk tech with Matthew Dickerson. Hello.
Yeah, g'day. Great to be chatting to you again. And look, you're just sounding like you're a bit flat today, so let's rev it up with some technology talk, Andrew.
I'm having a moment, Matt, and as I say to people, it's okay to not be okay,
Sure.
but I know I'm going to be okay. So it's all good. It's
Excellent.
all good. All right, here we go. I might need a doctor for some things, but the Apple Watch now, you might need one because it's got an ECG on it.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. If you're feeling a bit flat, maybe get an Apple Watch on and do some ECG testing. It's been available on the Apple Watch for the last couple of series. The Series 4, 5 and 6 have all had the capability to do an ECG, but in Australia you couldn't do it. In the US you could, but in Australia the TGA, the Therapeutic Goods Administration, said that they weren't actually happy with the results or the quality of the results that you got out of the ECG, so you couldn't actually do it. So if you had an Apple Watch in Australia, the software that was on there wouldn't actually allow that function to work. But big news, the TGA has now said we actually are okay with it. We'll approve the ability for the Apple Watch to do the ECG or to do that testing. So you can't quite do it yet. Apple have got to release an update so that in Australia it will work. But basically once that happens, you've got the heart rate capability already on an Apple Watch. Now with the ECG capability, the idea is you can do an ECG, not as good as when you go to a doctor or a hospital and actually have plugs put all over your chest and a proper ECG, but it gives you an indication. And the idea here, I think, is you get an indication. If something looks like it's not quite right from your watch, then go to the doctor and get it checked out properly. So probably still a need for some doctors to be around, but some of the health devices we've got just probably add to the equation, add to the information that you've got to give you some indication that maybe things aren't quite spot on.
Yeah, I'm just glad that a lot of my relatives don't have this because Greeks can be the biggest hypochondriacs in the world, Matt. And the last thing we need is a Greek auntie who has a watch that says, I think I'm alive. The watch he says, but I don't feel no good, so I have to go.
So you think this feature might be helping hypochondriacs of the world rather than helping people be healthier?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, especially Greeks. Worst hypochondriacs in the world. I can say that because I'm one of them. So if anyone would like to write a complaint, it's fine. I'll just direct them all to my Theaspasia and she will tell you that everything's okay.
Right, good. Well, I won't touch it at all then.
No worries. Now, Twitter, I got a Twitter. I hardly use it though, but apparently now I can make some money out of my Twitter, Matt.
If someone wants to buy, one of your famous tweets, one of your first tweets maybe, then you can do that. I mean, Jack Dorsey, who's already a billionaire, so I'm not sure if he actually needs the money. He's the co-founder and CEO of Twitter. He's attempting to sell his very first tweet. Now, how do you sell a tweet? And that was the first question I had when I read this story. How do you sell a tweet? It's not like you're selling an original artwork painting or something that's unique. It's a tweet. It's sitting there. You can go and look it up. It's on the public record, in the public domain. It has been for 15 years. So how do you sell a tweet? Well, the answer is with an NFT, a non-fungible token. Well, that doesn't help me much either, does it? So there's a whole concept that you can digitally sign something and only one signature can apply to that. So a non-fungible token is exactly that. It's a digital signature. So essentially, you can buy the NFT for this original tweet and no one else can have that unless you decide to sell it. Now, I'm not convinced that I would pay a lot of money for a tweet. And the tweet wasn't that exciting. The tweet said, just setting up my Twitter. So it's not the most revolutionary tweet you've ever seen. And the first bid for it hit $80,000, which was about $79,999 more than I would have paid for it. But since then, it's gone crazy, and it's up to $2.5 million US for the exclusive ownership of the signature on the first tweet from Jack Dorsey. The world has officially gone crazy, Andrew.
Now, if he's getting $2 million for that, I wonder what I get for the 16th of February 2015. Well, I finally made it to Twitter.
Well, put it out there. See what you can raise from it.
That was my first one. My second one wasn't that much more impressive either because I DJ on the side, Matt. And the second one was check out my DJ mixes at mixcloud.com/Andrews.
Well, look, go and get familiar with non-fungible tokens. I dare you to try and use that at a dinner party in a sensible way. Go and get familiar with NFTs and see if you can sell some of those tweets. There's a whole industry there.
I reckon there's $50 in that easy, man. You know, I'm cheap. I'll take anything. $50. Do I hear 60? Do I hear 70? Smartphones. Now the foldable ones are back in vogue, but now apparently Oppo is doing a rollable phone. No way.
Folding smartphones, Andrew. How yesterday? How old-fashioned and quaint. If you want to be up,
2001 of you.
Oh, absolutely. If you want to be up with it, forget the foldable. And look, some good brands are coming out with some foldable phones. Samsung, Huawei, Motorola, all trying to get that concept of a small phone that turns into a bigger phone or even a small tablet. But Oppo, you're quite right. They've gone for a rollable smartphone. And it looks pretty impressive. I've watched the video. I looked at it a few times just to see that I was understanding it. It looks like a normal, large-ish sized smartphone. And you press a button on the side and magically it just expands out the side. So you end up with a small tablet or a very large smartphone. I'm not sure which way you should define it. But it's again that next, I suppose, battle or the next quarry of shots that's been fired off in the battle to be the smartphone of choice in the future. I don't know whether it's going to be folding smartphones, rollable smartphones, something else that someone comes out with, but everyone's trying to do the same thing. They want something small to put in your pocket and large while you're looking at it.
Yeah. I wonder if you could still do the old gun holder move with that one. Remember that one where you used to have the flip phone, Matt, and you used to pull it out of your pocket and pretend like you were shooting someone with a gun and you used to flick it open and you used to go...
That's right, the old flip. It was a cool move. I don't think it works with this because it's got little motors that whir away when you press the side button and it just whirs to open and then whirs to close. So probably not quite as impressive as the gun move.
No. Well, there you go. It's not flash then.
That's right. Stick to the flip phone.
I'll stick to the old flip, yeah. I had a manager who worked in radio for years and he loved his flip phone. And it got to the stage where he just would not let it go until his wife said to him one day, "Oh, for heaven's sakes, just get rid of the damn thing." He goes, "But I can't let go of Flippy." He even had a name for it.
And it's not a very original name either, is it? Flippy? Surely he did better than that.
No, I know, right? I know. The current leader in the Chinese smartphone market, Matt, is...
Not Huawei. Huawei have been the leader for some time, but Huawei have been knocked off the top. Now, I must admit it's only for 1 month, but it might be an indication of the signs of things to come, given the fact Huawei's copped a bit of negative publicity around the world, some sanctions, some bans. But in China, they've been typically supported. But in January, Oppo was the number one selling smartphone in China. That's the first time ever Oppo's been top of the tree. They managed to capture 21% of that smartphone market during January. Huawei was still in equal second place with Vivo. Back in fourth place was Apple with Xiaomi, or equal fourth place with Xiaomi with 16% market share each. So it's quite interesting. It's Oppo sales have increased quite a lot, 26% year on year, 33% from the previous month. A lot of that was on the back of the Reno 5, which basically was a phone that came out with better specs than the Reno 4 at a lower price. So you combine better specs, lower price, your sales are probably going to increase. So good on Oppo. The real question is, where does that leave Huawei in the future? Are sales going to keep dropping? Are they going to keep dropping down? Or are they going to hit back and get some positive publicity out of some of the negativity they've had associated with their brand name?
Yeah, it's a shame because Huawei have been making some good phones lately. I know some people who've got some Huawei phones that swear by them.
Yeah, and look, they have some good phones. Maybe part of the issue, Andrew, is that it's so hard to pronounce Huawei. Oppo's easy to pronounce. So have they thought of that with their marketing?
No, right. Huawei. Yeah, I know. It's just easier to go Samsung, man.
That's right.
Now, Elon Musk, he's got a new holiday for you, hasn't he?
Well, not Elon in this particular situation, but, Elon's working on it, but you may be able to, at some stage in the near future, go on a space-cation. Now, this latest design that's come out is basically, looks like a big wheel sitting up there in space that you can go and travel to by the year 2027. So Elon's been talking about this. This one isn't an Elon project, but they may use SpaceX, for example, to get you there, although after the latest landing of a SpaceX rocket, maybe people mightn't be too excited about getting on a rocket that kind of explodes on landing, but I'm sure they'll get that right. But this Voyager station, it's basically being built by the Orbital Assembly Corporation, and it sits there spinning up in the sky. You'll have some fake gravity out around the edges, go towards the middle, zero gravity. You'll be able to stay in it like a normal motel, sit back there, watch your Netflix, I assume, but basically do some things that you can only do in zero gravity, play some games, basically undertake some activities that are pretty cool things to do. They haven't announced the price for an overnight stay. I don't know the motel will be stupidly expensive. Just getting there might be the real issue. That might be the part that's stupidly expensive. You know, you might only pay 20 or 30 grand a night to stay in this motel, but again, getting there might cost you a few $100,000.
And probably 6 months in training for you to go through all that to actually get there. That's going to be the other one. And then at the end of the holiday, Matt, all you're left with is the T-shirt that says, I went into space a holiday and all I got was this damn T-shirt.
That's right. Don't forget, you'll also have a little bit of osteoporosis as you get into old age because people go into space even for a short period of time. Zero gravity has an immediate impact on your bone structure. So just keep that in mind while you're up there as well, enjoying the space-cation.
Yeah, no worries. As long as it fixes my shoulder for the 2 weeks that I'm there, that's all I'm looking for. Because then I can go, wow, that was so relaxing. Look at my shoulder.
I can actually see a class action already. People who go up there in 50 years' time, they've got some health issues and they blame it on their space-cation. And next thing you know, it'll be like an asbestos issue. Big class action. They take on all these companies that have built these space-cations.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But 2027, 6 years away. You keep an eye out for it.
Look, I'm marking it on my calendar as well. My wife was only talking the other day about going on a holiday because we've got some credit that was cancelled during COVID. You know what I mean? Gold Coast, Darwin, Adelaide. We can just put it towards space.
Well, that's right. This might be a way for you to get out of going on a holiday for the next 6 years because you're saving up for a space-cation.
Well, that's it. I don't know how far the $269 is going to go towards getting us to space, but look, we can save.
Put it in a high-interest compounding interest account, and that should be worth at least $270 by that time.
No, it should be. At least $269.50.
That's right.